15 foods that cause mucus in your throat you must avoid. It is not widely known, but mucus plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy human body. This thick and sticky substance covers the respiratory tract and serves as a filter, preventing various particles like dust and microorganisms from entering the lungs with the oxygen we breathe in. Additionally, mucus acts as a lubricant to protect tissues from damage. However, too much of a good thing can prove to be bad and cause discomfort, and this can also happen with mucus. If you have ever had a common cold before, it means that you know how uncomfortable a buildup of phlegm can be to manage. Sometimes we are unknowingly responsible for the buildup of mucus in our organs. The foods that are in our diet are often the reason for excess mucus in the lungs, and most of the time we have no idea that these foods might be part of the problem. This is why in this video, we're going to look at the top foods and drinks that cause mucus buildup in your throat you must avoid. Be sure to watch until the end, as there's one food that most people are unaware of. 15. Coffee. Coffee is a basic in many households, and over 3 billion cups are consumed every day, as almost 79% of Americans swear by it. And while it has its benefits, like keeping you awake when you need it the most, it also can be a huge reason behind mucus buildup. Coffee is a diuretic. It dehydrates the body and causes increased production of thicker mucus in the system. 14. Spicy food. Not everyone likes spicy food. In fact, a large percentage of people can barely handle spice, and one of their main complaints is how much it makes your nose run. Some like it, but many don't. When you ingest spicy food, sometimes the body doesn't like that, and it gives off a burning and/or tingling sensation in your mouth. This sensation is caused by a plant compound called capsaicin. It is what is responsible for excess mucus production, reddening of the face, and a higher body temperature. 13. Bread. Bread is one of the most common food choices. People consume bread every day, but not a lot of people know that bread is not very healthy for you. Studies have shown that people who consume above 2 slices of bread a day have increased production of thicker mucus, as well as a connection with asthma. People who consume bread are more likely to experience symptoms like wheezing, chest tightening, and shortness of breath. The study also linked bread to nasal polyps, which are small growths inside of the nose. 12. Milk. Milk is a great source of nutrients, most commonly calcium, which is important for strong teeth and bones. But a study from 2001 showed that milk could be linked to the heavy production of mucus. The participants of the experiment noticed that as their intake of milk increased, they also had more than the usual amount of mucus when they blew their noses. The study went ahead to show that people who drink a lot of milk have an increased number of colds and even more sore throats. 11. Eggs. Eggs have great nutritional value, as they are a good source of protein and are rich in unsaturated fats that are healthy for the heart. They are also rich in vitamins B6, B12, and vitamin D. With so many benefits, one would not expect them to make this list, but eggs are among the foods that contribute to excess mucus production. This is because they contain histamine, a hormone in the body that is popular for causing allergy symptoms. This works to trigger the body's own histamine production, which triggers allergy-like symptoms like increased mucus production, aka a runny nose. While they are a great source of nutrition, it is important to watch your intake, especially if you struggle with nasal connection. 10. Cheese. While it has not been significantly confirmed by many studies, a lot of people have complained that when they ingest dairy, it causes their throats to feel thicker, and generally they feel discomfort. People who are lactose intolerant are at the forefront, as histamines are released and they get clogged up noses and even diarrhea. If you suffer from this, make sure to see your doctor for more ways to help you, or avoid cheese altogether. 9. Corn. Corn is one of the most consumed foods in the world. It cuts across a lot of different cuisines and cultures, and can be prepared in 100 different ways. A few concluded studies have come to the conclusion that the protein in corn is responsible for allergies like sneezing, hives, itchiness, and increased mucus production. A lot of subjects who ate corn protein were also more susceptible to experiencing asthma attacks than others. The singular advantage is that corn only affects select individuals with specific corn allergies. So if you don't regularly experience these symptoms with corn, then you just might be lucky. 8. Sugar. Nearly every health and nutrition professional has preached the gospel of cutting back or avoiding sugar completely. A study from 2014 found a very strong correlation between the overconsumption of sugar and increased mucus production. It observed how much sugar affected mucus production in both healthy people and people that had asthma, and it was found that both groups produced even more mucus after they had ingested sugar-heavy foods. The study also found that people with respiratory problems responded a lot more to sugar, as they produced more mucus than others. Sugar may magnify asthma symptoms and generally make the conditions worse. 7. Deep-fried foods. Because of the high content of fatty acids from butter to vegetable oil and omega-6 fatty acids, it triggers the body to produce more mucus than it should. Fried foods are overall unhealthy, and it's best to avoid them as much as possible. While they might taste good at the moment, the damage they do to your body on the long run will just bring you discomfort. The next one might not come as that much of a surprise to you, so make sure you're still watching to see what it is. 6. Processed meat. Processed meat is exactly what it sounds like. Meat that has been processed and treated to increase its shelf life. A lot of the meat we consume, such as hot dogs, sausages, ham, bacon, and all the different kinds of meat you find in the grocery stall aisle. They come in cans that have sat on the shelves or been in the supermarket freezers for a long time. A lot of these meats have a high fat content and contain a lot of protein. Protein is healthy, but like anything else, too much of it is not too good, and it is responsible for the excess mucus production in the throat after ingesting processed meat. Research showed that eating 10 grams of processed meat per day increases the risk of COPD by over 6%. One terrible side effect of COPD is excess mucus production, which in turn causes extreme discomfort. 5. Sodium. Sodium is a huge part of many diets, as it is contained in salt, which is present in very many, if not every food. A lot of the most commonly consumed foods are packed with a lot of sodium, which could lead to an increase in mucus production. Sodium also causes inflammation, which can lead to swelling in the body. A study found that people who eat salty foods have more mucus and are more susceptible to having sore throats frequently. Sodium has also been linked with an increase in the number of colds that people experienced. It is very important to include some salt in your diet, but it all matters to be mindful of how much of it that you are ingesting. Limiting your intake of salty foods may be a good idea. 4. Fast food. Fast food has been pronounced unhealthy by countless doctors and nutritionists, but it still shocks people to hear that it increases the production of mucus in the lungs. Research showed that eating fast food was linked to obesity and increased breathing problems. The study found that every extra serving of fast food eaten in a week increased the risk of asthma by a whopping 18%. Another of the numerous side effects of asthma is the production of excess mucus in the lungs. A lot of the fast food being consumed is fried in unhealthy oils that only make matters worse. The number one food on the list will probably upset a good number of people, so make sure you keep watching to know what it is. Let's get back into the video. 3. Soda. Just like fast food, soda is linked with an increased risk of developing breathing problems. They have found that for every serving of soda that is consumed weekly, the risk is increased by 21%. And to make matters worse, many people consume a lot of soda while they eat fast food meals. Not often the best combination of guilty pleasures. 2. Alcohol. Most alcohol is notorious for burning the throat when it passes down. As it does that, it weakens the cardiac sphincters and triggers an increase of phlegm in the throat. Alcohol, like coffee, is also a dehydrating agent and dries your body out, causing thicker phlegm when you are not properly hydrated. 1. Chocolate. Chocolate is a widely adored dessert and snack, and many people will not like to hear this fact, but it also weakens both the upper and lower esophageal sphincters, which triggers acid refluxes and chest burns. Repeated consumption can cause further weakening of the throat muscles, sore throat, a chronic cough, and too much mucus in the throat. Most of these foods are things that are consumed every day, And while they cannot all be completely eliminated from your diet, but they can be cut down and replaced with much healthier options. Things like fruits and vegetables rich in fibers, nuts, soy products, beans, and broth-based soups are great alternatives to start with to ensure the mucus buildup is reduced. Thank you so much for watching up until now. It is greatly appreciated. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss.